Hey guys, welcome back to Ultimate S&S. So we're just out here checking on our flocks, checking on the new chicks and stuff like that, and we'll post some little clips of what we've got going on as far as how they're growing out, what our grow out cage looks like, and then just checking in with the chickens a little bit. And then we'll probably go up and check with our quail. So just watch for those clips in here, guys. And again, thanks for coming to the channel and viewing and liking and commenting, guys. I think we've actually built a really nice community here. So as you can see, our chicks have gotten quite a bit bigger. They've been outside for about 4 days now. They weathered a pretty big rainstorm out here. Like I say, they're able to get up inside of this little chicken coop. We're going to turn this around so you can see what we got here. So I picked that coop up on Amazon. It did not take long to build because it was pretty much prefabbed. I'm not very happy with the wood quality on it. I've had to go in and reinforce a lot of stuff, use better screws. I wouldn't advise buying one from Amazon just because they use really cheap wood. And when it's outside, which naturally you're gonna keep your chickens outside, it gets warped. So it'll work for what we need as far as a grow out pen. But I would definitely recommend doing like I did with the chicken coop and doing a shed conversion. It's gonna be a whole lot cheaper. What I paid for that shed, I could have bought 2 sheds for what I paid for that little coop there. But hey, you live and you learn, guys. So we're going to take a look at our chickens. Can you spot the rooster? Very easy to determine on them brown leghorns. I mean, that dude's comb is sitting up like a freaking sail. So very easy to determine on those. With my black copper Morans, I'm still not quite sure on those. I'm guessing a rooster and a hen. They might both be hens. They don't have a lot of comb development. One of them is a little larger than the others, but I'm not finding a whole lot of information on actually sexing that particular breed. And that's one of the things is until they start reaching around probably, I don't know, 11, 12, 13 weeks, you can't really tell until you can see saddle feathers. What I'm noticing with the buff Orpingtons is they're just so fluffy. It's really hard to tell. I am looking at some that are standing next to the fence and they look rounded, so I'm guessing definitely hen on at least 2 or 3 of those. I'm pretty sure Peaches is a rooster because he has a tendency to run the other roosters around. Or it's just a very dominant hen, which I don't think is the case. Just he has a lot of rooster characteristics with chest bumping the other roosters and stuff. So we're going to go up here. We're going to take a look at the garden, and then we're going to peek in on the quail, guys. So over here we have our melon plants are coming in, guys. Then we have our corn. The reason I double rowed this corn is because it does wind pollinate. And if you just have a single row, it will not pollinate. And I'm going to show you some tricks to doing that if you're not doing a large cornfield. We'll show you a few tricks to making that pollination go a little easier and smoother. So over here we have our cucumber plants. Then we have our zucchini plants. Then we have our squash seeds that are just really starting to come in, guys. They're just starting to pop in. So yeah, unfortunately, after that big frost storm we had, guys, it really put a hurting on that thing. But as you can see, it's coming back. It just takes a little determination. I'm going to show you this other row here. So over here we have our turnips coming into spinach. Then our collard greens. This is our okra. Then we have our purple top turnips. Those are coming in nice. Then our small tomato plants that are starting to sprout in, guys. So it takes a little bit to get them tomato plants going. And all this was started from seed about 2.5 weeks ago or so. So it takes a little bit to get all that taken care of, but it is starting to come in kind of nice. We're going to look at our quail over here. So all the quail have finally been moved out of the grow out boxes. They are now in with the rest of the flock. They're kind of shy to hang up away from the rest of them. You can kind of tell, at least for now, the stages of how they've been placed in here. You want to make sure that they are pretty close to the same size as the other birds, and you want to try and keep them kind of close when you introduce them. And you're always going to have some pecking order issues when you introduce new quail in, because each group is going to have its, alpha bird or whatever you want to call it, the flock lead, the main honcho, but there might be some squabbles with that. But what you want to make sure is that one of them's not trying to actually peck the other one completely to death. They will strike each other on the head. That's pretty normal for birds when setting up their pecking orders. But that's kind of what we've got going on. So here's the other side of the garden, guys. It is needing quite a bit of work. I've been out here working on this. We've got a lot of stuff planted in. So we are now getting our green bean plants to come in. As you can see, I got to get out here and weed. It's just been so messy. We've got green bean plants sprouting. It's all up and down this row. Then I planted a few more straight neck squash plants that are just starting to sprout up. If you're having issues getting your squash or zucchini or cucumbers to start sprouting, my recommendation is start them off inside, especially this time of year if you're in the northern states and stuff, because they need the ground temperature needs to be at least 60 degrees. If it drops below that, it's going to stunt the seed, and if it stunts it too long, it will rot in the ground. So if you're having issues getting that to sprout, chances are you're either not watering it enough, or it's probably the ground temperatures that are really starting to affect you. So this other row here, I have planted corn. And again, guys, I've not had a chance to weed this side out this week, but I'm going to show you what we got. So we have more of that Silver Queen corn that's starting to come in, as you can see. I didn't double space these. I'm waiting to see how much of it sprouts up. And after you get it, you'll have some that are like, because you plant 2 or 3 seeds to a hole, you might have 3 plants there, and then you separate it and you just make another mound right next to it, which can be done just removing excess dirt from between the rows and just slide it up next to it. You can double row that. Now if you have 2 or 3 rows that are pretty close to each other, you can actually just let them be single rowed if you'd like. We have our spinach over here, or I'm sorry, our lettuce over here as well. Some of it's coming in nice. Some of it stunted down, but it'll be okay. It's going to come in. So this has had one thinning. It'll probably get thinned again. All this lighter green stuff here, this is the type of lettuce we're using. For those who don't know what this is called rattlesnake root. It is edible. Tastes like garbage, but it's edible. And then we have our corn plants again. So there's 3 rows of corn. Some of this we tried to salvage from my brother's planting of corn. It is stunted like considerably. I'm going to show you what some of this corn looks like, guys. So this corn actually has about a month on my Silver Queen. This sprouted yesterday, as you can see. It's not too far off on size. And this was planted after that frost, the day after the frost. So, was not stunted, grew in nice. That other stuff stunted, as you can see. This corn is doing a lot better than that stuff that was stunted. That's why I pulled everything up. I had some turnips growing in the other garden originally, and that's why I said I think I can just get that to actually, you know, take back off from seed from the stunted stage. So I started to leave some planted out here just to show you, but I planted this turnips in here about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And as you can see, guys, I mean, it has bounded back to where it was when that frost hit. If I had left that stuff in there, I believe we would have had where it would just still be stunted. I mean, we'd have fought it all year, and I do not feel like fighting stunted plants. Now those turnips are probably kind of sowed kind of close together. I've got another row here. I'm going to kind of spread these out a little bit, I believe. I want them about 4 or 5 inches apart is ideally what you want if you want turnip root. I love turnips. Turnip greens are okay, but I prefer the root or the bulb, whatever you want to call it. But I got to spread those out so those can actually get larger. And you can actually take and trim the greens off of it. Don't take all the green, but you can trim the greens and still get your turnip bulb as well. And you can allow that as that turnip's growing in the ground, just take some of the greens from the tops, and you can cook that and eat that however you want to do it, guys. Some people throw them to the chickens. Some people like the greens. I don't mind the greens. I actually prefer them over collards, but that's just me. But that's basically what I've got going on out here, guys. So we're going to work on the garden a little bit, doing some weeding and stuff. I'm sure everybody would love to watch that. I doubt it, though. So we'll catch everybody later.